All right, climbing friends in the virtual climbing world, good to see you again. I just want to say that the entirety of this channel is really not intended to be me sitting in my office talking about climbing, but this has been a kind of an easy way to get a fair amount of content out quickly, and that was sort of important, but there's a lot more coming. And today's video is part of that, a lot more coming. One of the important things about the perspective of this channel is that it's going to be always take into account and have a certain focus on the athlete's experience. And it doesn't matter if you're coaching yourself or you're coaching other people, the athlete's experience, their emotional ups and downs of progression, the showing up every day and getting the work done, the changes that occur in an athlete's self-perception and many other things. These are so important to the training process, and these are things that other people just don't talk about. So today we have our first video on the athlete's experience, and it's about route pyramids. And if you don't know what a route pyramid is, route pyramids are really the simplest. They're simple, they're easy, and they're really fun ways to get better at climbing. And the typical pyramid has 4 layers. It has 8 roots at the bottom layer. Then you go 1 letter grade up and you have 4 roots. Another letter grade up, you have 2 roots. And then at the very top of the pyramid, you have 1 root. I'm actually going to do a video on pyramids and how to structure them. But today I'm talking to my friend Aaron Shamy about his use of pyramids. And just by way of introduction, I met Aaron Shamy on his very first day of climbing back when he was 14 years old because I was his climbing instructor. He went on to be quite a phenom in the mid to late 90s. He, within 18 months of his first day of climbing, he had red pointed his first 514. He had great experiences as an outdoor climber and great experiences as a competition climber, especially in the early days of speed climbing. Famously, in 1999, he won both the X Games Speed and the World Youth Championship for speed. And he's won many, many other climbing competitions. Then a few years later, his life kind of took a different turn, and he didn't climb for 15 years. So the conversation we're having today is about his use of pyramids, coming back to climbing, and how he made climbing new and exciting for himself after such a long break from climbing and after having such a great early career. So I guess that's it for the introduction. Please enjoy my conversation with Aaron Shamy. So we're here today because we want to talk about pyramids.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I know the project that you're working on right now that we'll talk about later, but I wanted to get your experience over the years with pyramids, and I wanted to see if we could, I'm sure your memory is young and sprightly enough that you can do this.
Yeah.
Tell us what your very first experience using a pyramid was like where you actually wrote it down.
Mom and Dad, for my birthday, gave me this training camp that I'd be able to sign up for. You're smiling because I was there and you were there. So Douglas Hunter was one of the coaches with Mia Axon and Dale Goddard.
Yep.
Do you remember this week?
I do.
And so I don't remember. I think it was you three.
Yeah.
You three were like I
think Jeff Webb may have been a part of that one too.
Jeff Webb was there too. That's right. And so we got education and hands-on training skills from just some of the best coaches in the United States at the time that were trying to approach climbing from an education point of view. And so I think that's where I first heard the term pyramid back in the mid-90s. And at this camp, we formulated one, and we began to move through some of the grades on it.
What was the base layer of that pyramid? Do you remember?
That's a good question. It was probably low 12s. Mm-hmm. And with maybe the peak of the pyramid being Cobble Killer in Maple Canyon,
Which is
513C.
513C, right?
Yeah.
And so did you continue to work on that pyramid after the camp?
Yeah, I believe that I did. Yeah, I mean, part of my own personal climbing and the way that I approach it is I think every climb has something to teach me, whether, as long as it doesn't kill me, it has something to teach me. And so if the climb's not dangerous, if someone's like, oh, I hated the movement on this climb, I'm like, oh, then that climb is probably an education and I should probably go try it.
Do you remember how long it took you?
Oh, I don't know that every single climb ever got completed. As a young man, as a true young man, maybe my attention may have dwindled a little bit on the details of every little climb. But now, in my older age and wisdom, I've got to bring out all the tricks and not get lazy with that.
So it's interesting. So you don't really you don't have a very clear memory of that first pyramid, but it's something that you've wanted to come back to.
That's correct.
So what's renewed your interest in climbing pyramids?
Yeah, when I decided to make a comeback into climbing 5 years ago, I knew that I would never be as strong as I was back in my early 20s. But I also defined my comeback with this one simple umbrella, which was I want my best climbing days to be in front of me and not behind me. And the way I thought that I'd be able to define that would be by climbing one route harder than I've ever climbed before in my life, which for me would be a 514C. Never done a 514C. So I put that at the top of my pyramid, and I went 7 layers deep. And I just knew that as I approached this, I had to be more strategic, more experienced, more technical, because it wasn't going to be my youth and brute strength that would see me to the end of this goal. And in a way, I would have my best climbing days in front of me in the way that I wanted to define them.
Oh, that's all right. That's fantastic. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your current pyramid? When did you start it? What are the levels of the pyramid?
Yeah.
And where are you with it right now?
Okay, you got to think salsa, Doug, because it's a 7-layer dip. Okay, this pyramid is 7 layers, and I needed every one of those layers. And not everybody needs the layers, but I did. I felt that I needed every bit of power and strength and endurance that would come from every climb I would get on to push me upward and forward as I was aging and as I am aging.
So I should just say, I think most people know that a pyramid is typically 4 layers. So you've built it out one that's 7 layers.
That's 7 layers.
So how many roots are on that pyramid?
There are 127 roots in my pyramid. I call it Project 127.
Project 127.
The 127th root, hopefully, will be that 8C plus, right? That 514C, and will be the hardest root that you've ever sent in my life.
So what was the bottom layer of the 7-layer pyramid then?
So 513A is the bottom layer.
Okay, and that was, so how many 13As?
So I need 64.
64
513As.
Okay, and then when did you start working on this pyramid?
I started in 2020, my comeback to climbing.
Okay.
And it took me just a little over a year, 13 months to do my first 13A.
Okay, so you actually set up this idea of the pyramid before you had really gotten back in?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's really ambitious.
Well, here's the thing. That first 13A took its own pyramid to get to.
Okay.
And so there were 511s and 12s that built me up to this first pyramid. It wasn't as clearly defined, but I put in a lot of mileage here so that Movado would go down in July of 2021.
And it did.
And in 2021, I did 1 route on my pyramid.
Wow.
Just 1.
Okay.
And in 2022, 4 routes got done on my pyramid.
And then 2023?
2023 is where things started to accelerate.
Okay.
And we saw 20 routes in the pyramid get done in 2023.
And what were the grades of those 20 routes? What was the range?
From 13A to 14A.
Okay, so you actually didn't go in order then. You kind of jumped around a little bit.
I had some base.
Yeah.
And whether I was ready for it or not, I mean, I got on the route and my fingers hurt for a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I could get on a week later once, and then they would hurt for a week.
Wow.
And then I get on a week later, and I could get on it 1.5 times.
Okay.
And so it was in this process that my body and my fingers and the tendons were all starting to come back and get strengthened.
Okay, wow. So then it seems like you've really started to come on strong in 2024 and 2025.
Yeah, so in 2024, 40 something routes got completed in the pyramid.
Okay, again, those are all
13A and
or
above.
harder. Okay, 40 routes, 13A or harder.
And we're sitting right now mid-August, and I think I've matched what I did in 2025 already with 4.5 months still left to go for the year.
So where are you in the 127 routes?
Yeah.
How many do you have left?
I know we're talking a lot of numbers here, and it's probably confusing. Somebody put up some graphics on the screen or something. So I'm at route number 109.
Route number 109. Okay, so you're really...
I have 18 routes left to do.
18 routes left to do. And are they all, what level, what grades are those 18 at?
So if I think about this, I can tell you exactly. At the 13A level, I think I have 9 routes left. At 13B, 5. So what's that put us up to? 14? 13Cs are done.
13Cs are done.
I've done my 16 13Cs.
Okay, great.
Done. And some of those might have grown stale, and I might do some between now and the end, some additional ones. 13Ds are done as of last week.
Okay.
I've done 8 13Ds.
8 13Ds.
14As, there's 2.
Okay.
And then that means I got 2 left.
You got 2 left.
14Bs, 2 left.
2 left.
And 14Cs, there's 1.
Okay,
and so...
Gotcha. But so how are you doing, like, where are you at emotionally? Like, as you've been going through this process, have there been times when you've been unsure of yourself? Like, where's your motivation? What's your sense of self been like as you've been going through the project?
It seems like I'm way too bold for my britches to think that I could do this. And there's been moments where I've doubted and been like, is this really going to happen? There's been this interesting side effect to the process that I didn't expect, that's actually been very nice. And that is, when I approach a route, the anxiety of sending that route in that moment doesn't really weigh on me, because there's only one route that matters, and it's the top of the pyramid.
That's the top of the pyramid. And so that takes the pressure off?
It really takes the pressure. Yeah, I was like, okay, if I don't do this right now, I'll do it eventually, and I'll just keep throwing myself at it. And there's no like pressure to like, I have to like I'm ready. I've trained. Like I have to send this now. Like listen, send it today, send it tomorrow. It's all part of the process, and it's all gonna either teach me or train me or build my power or strength. Now, when I'm taking those send rips on Flight of the Concorde and Hurricane, that 514C, that may all go out the window, and I'll have to figure out some new things. But for right now, it's been this interesting byproduct to walk up to a route and just feel calm and be like, all right, it's just another day of training. Let's step onto the route and go get stronger, because it's preparing me for what's coming.
Gotcha. And how have you, that being the case, how do you enjoy the routes that are part of your pyramid?
Oh, I love them. Yeah, like every route, like win, fall, send, or get spit off. Like I'm having a great time, and so I'm so happy to just be in the mountains and to be climbing with all these great kids. I can't tell you how many times I'm at the crag with Skylar Coster, and somebody comes up and says, "Oh, is this your son?" And it's really fun. And then we go and we work on the similar projects. He sends it right away, and I take a few more days, and it's really quite fun for me to, because I'm at the crag and I see myself as just one of these other climbers, and I forget about my age a little bit as I show up and climb alongside these young guns.
Is like age on your mind? And that's, you also mentioned that sense of urgency. How is that playing out for you? Because earlier you said that you don't really feel much pressure in general, but you also have some sense of the clock ticking, I guess, or you use your own terms.
Yeah, there's definitely a contradiction that somehow, because of the pyramid approach, I think for me, the anxiety of sending, that pressure of sending in that moment dissipates. But the urgency of moving forward and getting done what I can get done while my aging body allows me to do it is on me. And so I don't find myself wasting much time or a lot of days because this is what I want. This is what I want to go for. And so this is what you know, different things get different people psyched, and this is something that's got me really psyched. And it's been this linchpin activity for me. It has been the fulcrum that affects every other area of my life. It's changed my nutrition, how I eat, how I sleep. You know, when I'm not climbing, what am I doing on those days? Am I having active rest days? And because I'm climbing, and maybe I'm not with my family on a particular day, the days I am with my family or on vacation, it's making things more meaningful and present for me. And it's really been a sweet experience.
Right on. That's terrific. But I'm curious now, you know, when you've gone through so many climbs at this point, and you've been thinking about 14C as your goal for a while, for a few years now.
Yeah.
When you look at the top of your pyramid, when you think about that 14C, how do you feel? How does it make you feel?
When I think about the top of my pyramid, the 14C, I think the first image that comes to my mind is slapping that Superman jug at the lip of the hurricane and the feet coming off, and hearing, I don't know, Kelly Clarkson singing "A Moment Like This," or it just feels like that'll just be a sweet culminating moment that so much work and sacrifice and time, not just from myself, but from my family and my climbing partners, that everyone has been such a great support in that. Like, I can imagine that moment, and it's emotional for me to think that I might get there one day. And I have to believe that I can, otherwise I don't do what I need to do today. And so I do approach it with a "this is gonna happen" attitude. It's not a matter of if, but when. Just keep showing up. And so I keep showing up. So that's maybe the first image that comes to mind. And then with that, it feels like there's some pressure to it.
Are you intimidated by the top of your pyramid at all?
Ooh, good question. Yeah, I think it is intimidating. It's audacious to think that I could do something like this. I mean, I'm a hobbyist. I'm not a pro climber. You know, I do this recreationally. And so, I don't know. I think there are people smarter than me that have said if your goals don't scare you, maybe they're not big enough. And so there's definitely some of that fear that accompanies big goals. And but with it comes this cascading domino effect into all the other areas of your life that becomes this tide that lifts all the boats around you. And that's been great.
Well, and I think, too, what you're saying kind of describes the experience of a lot of climbers. It doesn't matter if the top route is 14C or 12A or 11B. When you're looking at the top of your pyramid, it is that combination of fear and thrill, right, at the same time.
It's been really fun to find like-minded individuals with similar goals. And I just think what's really helped my climbing is, if I could only say one thing, it's just been to continue to show up.
Yeah.
And then number two, which is what you alluded to just now, which was to have a plan, a structure. I think if I show up, like, half the battle's over. But then what's the other half? Have a plan. Yeah. And the pyramid's given me that plan, for sure.
Gotcha. Have there been any, since this is a multi-year project, have there been any low points? Have there been any routes that have given you more trouble than you wanted to? Have there been any points where maybe you've experienced any self-doubt?
Yeah. But maybe the biggest fight in the pyramid so far was a route in hell, on the hell wall, in American Fork Canyon, Utah, called High Water.
High water, yeah, that crux.
Oh, geez, oh my gosh.
So let's just so everyone.
Yeah. You
so
know
high
this
water
route.
is a 13C in American Fork, and it's got this really weird sequence where a lot of people do an intentional Z clip to get the bolt clipped, and then it's just like the most burly little boulder problem that puts up such a fight. And you're hitting this giant sloper that really there's nothing.
The dinner
there.
plate.
The dinner plate, right? You just hit that thing, and then you got to go again. So it's a very particularly unforgiving crux on that thing.
Yeah.
But so that's the route.
That's the route.
So what was happening?
I think after I'd spent 10 days on it, I was like, okay, this could go down any day now. Like, I think I got this. And I'd show up, and it was summertime. It was like June, July, August. And we'd show up early in the morning. And when the schedule didn't allow that, we'd show up at like 9 o'clock at night and flood the wall with lights.
Oh, wow.
And we'd climb till midnight to try to get the cooler temps. And I just kept falling again and again and again. Day 15.
Like on the dinner plate move? Or which move?
So there's a little micro crimp on the face around from the dinner plate. And so popping up off of the what you call the dinner plate, but I'm popping from around the corner. I fell there 60 times.
Oh my God.
Like trying to stick this. And then getting the feet up, once I did stick it, I'd fall like another 20 times. And then you do this like giant windmill and slap above this other little mini roof, and then it's over. Like you shouldn't fall after. You could, but you shouldn't fall after that.
But so this is wild though, because 13C is not that hard for you. You've done quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And then you're saying you fell 60 times.
100 total. We counted every time. In fact, we filmed every time. And I have a little edit of me falling 100 times in a row. It's just 90 seconds of Shamy airtime.
On that one move.
Well, on that and other moves too.
Did you so what did this do to your psyche? I mean, did you want to just crawl under a rock and die? Or
there might have been a day or two that I wanted to cry. I didn't, but maybe I wanted to. But mostly it just, I'd surrounded myself with good, positive climbers, good community. They believed in me, good community that just kept encouraging me. And I kind of bought into that. Like, okay, I guess I believe in myself if you do. Like, and so I just kept showing up. And most of the days I was psyched to be there in the mountains climbing, and I just understood it as part of a grander whole. That this was gonna, this isn't the hardest route I'm ever gonna do right now in my old age. I'm gonna do something harder. So until I'm strong enough to do this, I need to keep throwing myself at this to get stronger. And so when we push ourselves against rock, I mean, that's what we do as climbers. We're just you're just pushing, you're just pushing up against a giant rock or pulling, right, one or the other, and the rock doesn't move. So the thing that changes is you as the client. And so I don't know, to get a little soapboxy for you, forgive me, but yeah, that's what happened to me on High Water. I changed.
Did you have expectations, or did you just go and accept whatever that day brought?
I mean, I don't think I pull onto the rock ever without giving it everything I got.
Right.
And so part of that is the mental attitude that I am going to do this.
Right.
And when it doesn't happen, then of course, living in the past and feeling bad, does me no favors.
Was there ever a day when you were like, I'm going to do it today, and then you didn't? And then you beat yourself up for it? Or was that just not how your mind works? Yeah, I mean, I see plenty of climbers doing this. And I really am trying to think of a day that maybe I beat myself up when not doing a climb. And maybe this just comes with the age and urgency factor. And it's just not something I experience, is you didn't do this. We need to beat you up over it. I don't do that. I don't do that. Right. But I definitely do show up expecting to do a route. And like Matt Hinckley and Skylar Coster and several others were there with me on High Water for all those 100 attempts. Right.
And every time I fell, like Skylar would say the same thing. Like I can hear his voice right now in my mind. I fall and he says, "Oh, bummer." And I think that I do. I think, "Oh, bummer." Yeah. And I fully expect to do it, and then it doesn't happen, and it's a bummer. Yeah.
So this, oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Was that your way of letting go of the failure, or if you want to call it, or
Yeah.
letting go of that fall?
Yeah, I like that. I don't know that I've thought about how to articulate the, what happens when you fall and don't do something, but I kind of like this idea of, like, oh, bummer, release it, let it go. Like, you can't change, like, once you fall, like, you can't put that cat back in the bag, right? Like, so what do you do with that? You move on. You move on, and you be constructive as quickly as possible.
I know that it seems like your on-site climbing has gotten really pretty good now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can hang on the wall for a while on sighting. It's not my preferred style. It's not what I like to do in climbing, but I'm happy to flash in climbing. So go ahead.
Well, when you were younger, I mean, because you're on-sighting or flashing 13B now.
Yeah.
Which bodes really well for wanting to red point 14B, 14C.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good
good indicator.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your on-sighting has gotten any better than it was in the past?
Yeah, I'm certainly, so at my peak climbing in my 20s, the hardest thing I ever flashed and on-sighted, they were the same grade, was 8A.
Okay.
And so, but I don't practice on-sighting a lot these days. And that's just my own personal approach to what I want to do with climbing. I think it can be a great exercise for people who want to work that. But I do like the flash.
You're loving the process.
Oh, I love this process. Oh, it's so fun because I feel like I just want to climb everything, Douglas. Like, I want to travel the world and I want to climb everything. So as soon as Morgan's book sells, but yeah, there's something really satisfying about climbing out a crag, I guess, and just being like, oh, I've experienced all these lines, and like people, they all have their own personalities and weaknesses and strengths that you can, look back to. And I mean, if we talked about a climb that we've both done, like, we'd know it like a person. And we'd talk about like loser and that traverse there, and you might call it, V6, and I might call it V7, and well, wait a second, how did you do that move there? And it connects us, and I think climbing can do that for people. Like, someone from a different country can come here, climb on something I climb on, and I climbed it, and we can just have this conversation, and it will connect us. And
no, it's really true. We do build community through movement and through individual climbs and through experience.
Yeah.
So thinking towards this fall, there's several more months of good weather.
Yeah.
Do you think this fall is when you're going to complete your pyramid, or
I can't. Okay. Just for you and your audience.
Okay.
I kind of do have a due date.
Okay.
And it's this idea of, all right, so I'm going to be in the Hurricane this winter.
Yeah.
And while I'm there this winter, I'll have my main proj that I'll be working on, Flight of the Concorde 14C. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be working on side projects, filling in those lower pyramid hits, the rest of them.
But so your due date is this year?
So I think it would be aggressive. I think the last week of March is kind of when...
Oh, next March.
When Hurricane closes up. It gets too hot.
Okay.
Last week of March, first week of April. And so I'm pushing towards the spring. Okay. And if I get it done in the spring, in my mind, like, that'll be aggressive.
Okay.
And I'll be thrilled. Like, I'll be ahead of schedule. I'm actually thinking towards the fall, November, December of 2026.
Okay, gotcha.
And because I think it's going to take me 40 days.
To do your top route.
to do my top route. And
I'll bet it's going to be less than that.
I'm hoping it's less than that, especially with how this summer's been going.
Yeah.
But I've budgeted 40 days.
Okay.
And based on my life and my calendar, I can get to the Hurricane 20 climbing days this winter.
Okay.
So that's half.
Gotcha.
And if I count the 10 days I was there last year working Bismarcky, which is part of flight,
Right.
then I think I need 20 this season, and then maybe 10 in the fall of 2026.
So this has been a big project. It's not just one route project, but a massive pyramid. What happens when it's done?
Ah! I retire. I give up. It's over. I've done it. A moment like this.
Because that is the thing. Like, when you've completed a pyramid,
Okay.
that's the closing of one chapter, but it's also potentially the opening of a new chapter.
What happens when I complete the goal? I think you move the goalpost. When anybody does the top of their pyramid, like, I don't know that that's certainly celebrate, but I don't know that that's the time to, like, quit or stop.
Well,
I think it's time to double down and push even harder.
Any final thoughts?
Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
If you're not motivated, screw your motivation. No, motivation won't see you through your journey. Discipline will.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Showing up will.
But I like the idea of keep showing up. And really, the fact of the matter is, like, a pyramid is a great way to keep showing up.
Yeah.
And to keep being accountable for yourself.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, Shamy, thank you so much for taking some time today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. This
Yeah,
is a great
thank you.
conversation, my bro.
That's good. Thank you, brother.
Maybe we'll come down to the Hurricane with you at some point.
Ooh, I'd like that. That would be a lot of fun.